Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Are You Listening with Abigail, and Cornelius is literally sat here looking at me like, what on earth are you talking about? He's not meant to be on the bed, and the only time I'm allowing him, I think, is recording episodes. So we'll see if he's a good boy or not. But I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone's having a lovely Sunday or whatever day you are listening to this. It's actually Friday morning when I'm recording this, and when I say it is so dark and dingy outside, it was a rough start to the morning this morning. It was like, get yourself out of bed, it's a work day, come on, let's go. So yeah, I actually haven't been struggling this January as bad as I thought I would have been, because January is usually just tough for everyone, right? Getting yourself out of bed, doing this, doing that. And I haven't been that bad, but I do feel like I just feel a bit more up and down. There's definitely a few times I'm a bit like, whoa, like there's a real crash of feelings. So yeah, I did a presentation in London yesterday on behalf of the lash brand that I work with, which is amazing. So maybe that's why I feel like I've had a bit of a crash, because yesterday there was like a lot of adrenaline. I was really proud of myself. Then we went for a lovely lunch. Hadn't seen Corny in like a whole day because he stayed at grandma's, and then went to go pick him up. So yesterday, like I say, was a nice day. So I feel like sometimes you just have a bit of a crash afterwards. So that's where we're at today. But I hope everyone is fully settled into 2026. We are so close now for it to being February. Like, we're nearly there. I know February is not always that much better, but at least January is then out the way. And yeah, when I'm recording this, how close are we to 30 now? Oh, my phone is constantly telling me it needs me to do this update, and I haven't done it yet. So we are oh my god, we're exactly 3 weeks. When I'm recording this, I'm exactly 3 weeks till I'm 30. So we are 3 weeks away, officially 3 weeks away from 30. I say a different episode. I kind of feel like I say that every time, and then they're not actually that much different. But I just wanted to talk about something that I've noticed going into this year, and it's a bit more calm. It's a bit more observant, just where I'm at. And I feel like a lot of people around this age will relate. Whether you're a few years younger, a few years older, I feel like a lot of people relate to this. So yeah, something I didn't really expect, or I did expect, but maybe not to the extent that I'm feeling it, is how full my calendar was going to fill this year. And this isn't me complaining about it. I'm just kind of having a look, being like, whoa, we have a busy year. And I want to talk about this as a shift, because I felt like in my early to mid 20s, very social, always out and about, always this, always that. And I've spoke about drinking and things like that on the podcast before. Now, since my later 20s, I'd say literally in the last 3 years, I have made a bit more. Please don't roll off the bed. Anyone that saw that, he literally nearly rolled off the bed. The boy has got no awareness as to if he's going to fall off something. So we're going to be keeping an eye on him. In the last 3 years, I would probably say I don't really drink. I couldn't tell you the last time I was drunk. It was probably years ago. Last drink that I had, I don't know, probably August. Oh, September. Maybe when I was in Mauritius, I had one. And even I really started to lean into being at home. I have become a real homebody, and I love being at home, especially since moving out. I love being at home and being in my own space. And also it's just felt very different the last few years. And I've spoke about this before, which is why I think this is a nice episode to do, because I feel like it ties a lot of my episodes together. A lot of my friendships, I'm very settled in my friendships. I love my friends, but we don't see each other for a good few months, and then we'll catch up. I saw a few of them on Sunday just gone, and we were there. Went literally for a pub lunch because it was one of the girls' 30ths a few weeks back when she was away, and we was there. We literally just went for a roast. Got there at 3 and we left at like 7:30. So it is so lovely, and it really feels like nothing has passed when we're together, which is nice. And I just feel very happy in my little bubble and the way that things have been going. And, I am valuing my calmer routine and like slower weeks. But I just think that's going to take a bit of a turn in the next few months. So like I said, bit of a sudden shift. So like I say everyone, a few of my friends and a few of my partner's friends are getting married this year. So that obviously includes weddings, hen dos. Me and my partner are both the same age. So me and all my friends are 30 this year. Like all of us are 30. Courtney has just laid directly on my phone. Bro, again, the awareness. Yeah, like everyone is 30. Big milestone celebrations, engagements have been happening. So now I'm seeing people more monthly. I'm seeing people more often. I'm going away more. There's more events. Even with work, like the brand I work with, I'm doing a lot more teaching. So I'm traveling away for a few nights at a time. And like I say, it's not just because it's one thing, like everything is all happening at once. And I think that's where I'm a bit like, whoa, this is like a really big change. And whether it's for the bad or good is irrelevant. It's all lovely things. But it's still like a bit of like an emotional whiplash of like, oh my God, this is so much happening, so much excitement. So much gratitude, so much like just feeling really lucky to have all these people to celebrate, just like overwhelmed from it though, because I'm a bit like, there's a lot that comes with it. Like a lot of energy needs to go into these things, and money and things like that. And you are like, okay, last year I didn't have these extra things to pay for. So, I could go on this really big holiday to Mauritius and things like that. And it's like, this year I have had to take a step back and be like, okay, I probably can't do that because of the way things are going. There is a part of me that's like, I'm looking at my diary for the month and I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that I'm putting in the diary a weekend a month that I'm not doing anything, to make sure that I still have that time to recoup and I don't feel burnt out by these really nice things. Because that's like the way definitely the way that I want to like reframe my mind about it, is that they are lovely things and I'm so excited. But a lot of the time, that's the only time I have to rest. And a lot of people will relate to that, is that your weekends are to kind of rest and recoup. And when they're filled with events, you don't have time to do that. So yeah, I'm like going through my calendar and my months and making sure I've got at least one weekend a month that I'm like, I'm not doing anything, and making sure that tries to land on a weekend I'm not working too, if I can. So yeah, like none of it is about like not wanting to go and not wanting to do it and not be like, I will do it, of course. Like it's not even a question as to whether I'm going to do these things, but it's definitely adjusting to a pace that I haven't lived in for quite a few years now. And it makes it sound really old, but you do change as you get older. You really, really do. I keep talking about turning 30, but I do think it is the catalyst of why I started this podcast, was that there was this impending big thing coming up for me. And I was 6 months away when I started the podcast, which is just mental when I think about it. And I just think that it is the catalyst of everything that's happening in my life at the moment, is that okay, things are changing and this is what's happening, and we're finding new paces for things. And maybe it was that for the last few years me and my friends have all just been busy living our lives, and now things, people are getting married, we're all going to see each other more in the next few years if these events keep happening. People are going to have babies and everyone shows up more. Then it just feels like it's going to change. So yeah, I think turning 30 and it feeling like a bit of a life checkpoint is the change that's coming. And with these events, it kind of makes the checkpoint of turning 30 seem more, what would the word be? Kind of makes it seem louder. Does that make sense? Is that the right word to say? But it feels louder, like, right, you're turning 30 because these big things are happening now, like even though they're not happening necessarily to me, they're happening to the people around you. So you've reached that checkpoint. But and I keep saying this, like, I don't feel scared about turning 30. Again, I've got some friends that are really spiraling, but I don't feel scared about it. I really, really don't. But it definitely feels more real, and life feels a bit more serious. And like in a nice way, but it does feel more serious. And everyone's paths look different, but also similar. So, you know, like I said, a few of my really good friends are getting married around the same sort of time. One of them has just got engaged. I've got 2 friends having babies around a really similar time. Another friend has a dog. You know, we got corny. Few, you know, me and my partner live together. We've got a few that don't live together yet. So everyone's like on similar paths at different speeds and different times, if that makes sense. And that's not to say the path has to be the same. It's always going to be different, but like these big checkpoints are all kind of slowly being ticked by each person. Like I've got a friend traveling at the moment that never got to do it before. So they're all these big things that are like big checkpoints and big ticks, but at different paces, which is like really nice. But it is easy to compare timelines. I've spoken about this so many times, and you know, 2 of my friends getting married, it's very easy, or like one of my other friend getting engaged. It is easy to then kind of fall into that trap of like, well, come on, like my partner, like, hello, where's my ring? But we have just got a dog. Like, we are also doing these big things that other people are probably thinking about, going, oh, I really want to do that. So it is easy to compare without meaning to do it. And there's no right pace of doing things. Like, we got a dog before doing anything else. Other people would think, well, why are you going to get a dog before having kids or getting married or this, that and the other? Like, it is so different for everyone. And I don't feel behind, I just feel more aware of what everyone else is doing and where I'm at. So yeah, I'm trying to think about the ways that I can still keep my routine and calmness and like the way that I'm doing things around these other things that I'm doing, like these other events. Like I said, putting rest weekends in the diary for me is a really big thing. If you're not a planner, you're probably going to listen to this going, this is so extra, like there's no reason to be really thinking into this like this. But for someone like myself, I do need to plan ahead. And okay, maybe it's different for people with the jobs they do, things like that, but I run a business and I do feel a bit like, well, I do need to plan ahead, because sometimes the only days I get off is a Sunday, and then my Thursday is off for like admin and stuff. I want to make sure I do have rest on the weekends and not overcommitting. So the things that I don't need to commit to, or I don't want to commit to, not just saying yes for the sake of it, you know, or making things like, let's go do a Pilates class or get a coffee or go for a walk, instead of like this big planned dinner of an evening. It's going to take up my whole evening. So doing things like that instead. And like I said, saying yes more intentionally. I spoke to a few of my friends recently, and that's what they said going into this year. They've learned that they will be, especially with these big things coming up, you do have to be a little bit more brutal about like what you're saying yes to. And that's not saying like don't say yes to the important things, but it is just being a bit like, you know, if there is this extra little thing going on that you just don't feel like, oh, it's just not aligning to what I want to do, you don't have to do that. But then the bigger things, it's like, okay, but I can make more space to do the big things, to celebrate people, and budgeting for these things without feeling guilty. And I really hope that if someone's listened to this episode, you've listened to my previous episodes, because I feel like a lot of my other episodes are all kind of coming in to link to this episode. So then I've got another one that talks about, you know, money guilt and spending money. And I do think it's important to be able to go and celebrate and do these big things that we knew they were coming at some point, you know. So I don't want to feel like I'm sat there going, like, you know, it's the money, it's this, that, the other. Like, I want to spend that money because I knew they were coming and I'm excited to do them. And realising that for me, it is like a season of your life, right? Like, not everyone is going to be getting married, doing all these extra things all the time. I spoke to someone yesterday, like when I was on the talk I was doing, we went for lunch afterwards, which was lovely, and I was talking to one of the ladies that came with, and she was like, I remember it being like that for me. It's like all of a sudden it started, it lasted for about 5 years, and then it stops. So I kind of feel like I really want to like throw myself into doing it and know that it's not going to last, and not in a bad way, but I really want to kind of just like enjoy them, which it's like a really, really nice thing. Like, I'm really excited, really, really excited. But I do think prioritizing rest and making sure you're not overcommitting and overcompensating, like your own rest over doing these things. It's finding like the nice balance between, well, I want to be there and I want to do these things, but also I need to make sure that I'm planning ahead, that, okay, if other things come up, like, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do this because these big things are happening. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I'm like, I know that it's not going to be forever because people start having kids, having babies, and then things really slow down in a different way. I think I'm really excited for a lot of my friends to start having kids because I am self-employed and I do have random days off and I do have random, times that I'm not working. I'm really excited for more people around me to have kids so I could be like, I'm around. Hi, like, let's see each other, So yeah, this is just kind of like a short episode. I didn't want to do anything too deep, but I thought it was very relevant leading in these last few weeks to 30, that this is the way that things are going and this is how I'm feeling about it. And you may be in a really similar phase where life suddenly feels really full and busy, and that's really exciting. Or you may feel that it's going to be coming, or maybe you've just come out of it. But I feel like a lot of people I speak to are like, yeah, that there's a period of time where it all just comes at once. And that's where we're entering. And I have been really excited for it, I'd say, for the last few years. So yeah, maybe this is just like what the lead up to 30 actually really looks like for a lot of us. So I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. And like I said, this month kind of was like a slow start to it. One of my friends got engaged. We then met her for lunch and things like that. And then from next month, me and my partner turn 30. Then we have the first hen do happens. And then it kind of spirals from there. So yeah, it's really, really exciting time. But yeah, I hope that everyone liked this episode. I wanted to make it just a little bit lighter because I do appreciate that. I really want to talk about important things in this podcast, but I also don't want to come in every single week with the episode being really deep and really doom and gloom, because sometimes we don't need that. Sometimes actually we just want to talk about, this is how I'm feeling, this is what's happening, and this is what I appreciate that probably a lot of people are feeling as well. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. As always, thank you so much for listening. And if you come back every week, I had such a good response to coming back last week after my break from Christmas. Everyone was so excited, which is just so, so lovely. So thank you, as always, for listening. If you are listening on Spotify, please like, review all of this. I know I keep saying it, but my goal for this year is to get these episodes on Apple Podcasts. I'm on a mission to make it work. I can see some people do it and some people don't. I think I'm missing something, so I'm going to have to start looking into it, I think. I really, really I've got quite a few clients that use Apple Podcasts and stuff, so I don't want them to be missing out or just having to download Spotify for me. So that is my aim. It is on my list, I promise, guys. And if you are watching on Spotify, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Otherwise, have a lovely Sunday or whatever day you are listening to this or watching this on, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.